NCOP, the National Council of Provinces, here in the Parliamentary Precinct in Cape Town. And today, a big day for science and technology in South Africa as the fourth industrial revolution comes under the spotlight. And I know many of you sitting at home thinking, the fourth industrial revolution without electricity? Oh, I'm not sure about that one. Well, I think it's taken everybody by surprise. And it's not a nice thing to be dealing with here in South Africa. And I believe that stage 3 load shedding is what we can expect all day until 11 o'clock tonight. But we are still focusing in on things all technological, and particularly things when it comes to big data and when it comes to the stars and astronomy and everything we can read into that. And this all forms part of the fourth industrial revolution. How? Well, I'm not going to answer that. That's why I've got the professionals standing right next to me. And my guests, let me introduce them to you. It's so great to have with us Dr. Sithole. He's Happy Sithole. He's the head of the Center for High Performance and Computing. And he's here to tell us a little bit about the needs for the fourth industrial revolution. It's so good to have you, and welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you, Leanne, and I'm glad to be on your program.
Good, I'm so glad. And then, of course, we've got an astronomer here with us as well. So the astronomer talking to us is Dr. Daniel Kanama, and he's with the Science Engagement. He's an astronomer there. Thank you so much for being with us as well.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's start off with you, Dr. Sithole, because you head an organization that houses Africa's fastest supercomputer. It's called the Leanne. Talk to me about this. What is that?
Well, Leanne, first of all, is our supercomputer, which is a national facility in South Africa, funded by the Department of Science and Technology. So it is accessible to all South African researchers and to some extent also to industries. So the main purpose of the supercomputer is to assist South Africa to deal with large amounts of data that requires massive parallel processing. So that's basically what Leanne is supposed to be helping us with. And you just indicated we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution. So this will be some of the technologies that we require.
Yeah. Okay, so let me take a step back and talk about the fourth industrial revolution. What does it mean to the average South African? Who wants to grapple with that question?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what the fourth industrial revolution means is, in terms of the astronomy context for us, it's kind of bringing South Africa into the future, trying to engage with the advanced technology which we now have access to and capabilities to use, and try and get the public on board with that, engage with our students and our scientists and everybody basically using this technology to really leapfrog us into a new era of technology.
How does astronomy play a role in all of this? Because that, I think, now I'm even grappling to put my head around that.
I think there have been massive developments and advances in astronomy. So gone are the days when we look through telescopes, and we will show you just now the demonstration. But all of our telescopes are moving towards a remote operations system where we'd be able to control them from here in Cape Town or even here in Parliament, and we don't need to sit and look through telescopes and sort of do our observations like that. It's all very technologically advanced and kind of futuristic. And then moving forward beyond that and into this fourth industrial revolution, we're looking towards this idea of an intelligent observatory where the actual astronomer is removed even further from that process, and the telescopes decide themselves what to observe based on a queue scheduling system, and then if they find interesting objects, they can relay that information to other telescopes who can then follow up and make important discoveries of transient events, for example, such as we had with the gravitational wave event in 2017. Which was
so interesting, and we're going to actually have a look at how this telescope works in a couple of minutes' time. But Dr. Sithole, in terms of supercomputers and the collection of data. And I mean, we know that data is the most valuable currency that anybody could have in this day and age. It's the collection of information from all over the world about everything and anything. But in terms of what your supercomputer does and help the country going forward, industrial revolution, what does that do? I mean, just try and explain it to somebody sitting on the couch thinking, what are you people talking about?
Yeah, look, I think the main thing is that when we go into the fourth industrial revolution is that the industry is going to work differently. And we're already getting there, where a lot of intelligence is put into the system within your industry floor, including the humans in there. So all these have to feed in information in the form of what we call the Internet of Things. So for you to be able to get this information all together in your industry, it means that you have to have really a lot of processing capability so that you can be able to predict how things are going to be or to be able to automate. And for those, we can use our desktops. We will need to use a lot of processing capabilities so that we can be as accurate as possible. And this is where high-performance computing or supercomputers play an important role to be able to assist us to be able to get all these processes accurately and as fast as possible. I think that's what it will tell you about your competitiveness as a nation.
In the simplest possible form, I think you did it. Very quickly, because we've got to wrap up, but we've been standing right next to these incredible... I don't even know what they are. I want to give it a word, but it fails me. What?
These are essentially monitors. But
okay, all right. Now you're making me feel like an idiot.
That's what we can do with them. That's so exciting. So,
and that's a MacBook Pro. I know that too. So talk to me about now, just very quickly. I mean, you can actually move this, which we have done a broadcast from, SALT. Yeah. You move it from here.
So yes. So that is SALT. It's a massive 11-meter telescope, our flagship telescope, and the fourth largest telescope in the world. And we can control that remotely from here. We'll see it spinning now. And then sort of we can, through using these sort of interfaces here, we can do all of our observations remotely too. So we can align the mirrors, we can make sure everything's sort of viewing properly, tracking properly, take our observations, download that data, use it.
Can you move it for us now?
I'll just have to click a finger.
Click a finger. Can someone come and move it? Come on in. Come in. Don't be shy.
So that's a...
come in, guys.
He's doing it from there.
Oh, he's doing it. Excuse me? You're doing it via your cell phone.
So that's an 85-ton structure which holds the mirrors. There's 91 segmented mirrors. We hope it works now. But and that moves on a hovercraft basis. So there's a cushion of air that lifts up, and this whole 85-ton structure rotates around as we track the sky. I'm not quite sure why it's not working now, but and then sort of above this, we also have other telescopes. So this one in particular is one in Hawaii. So they're busy operating at the moment. So they're observing right now because it's obviously nighttime there. And we'll be getting one of these telescopes next year, which is an asteroid tracking telescope. So looking for these last alert systems. You can see the sun's rising in Sutherland.
And the sun is finally rising in Sutherland. What is this over here?
So basically, this particular telescope is looking at asteroids. So they're looking at small near-Earth asteroids, and those are the things they're currently looking for. So they have a catalogue of asteroids which they observe every night to get better tracking data, where they're moving, how fast they're moving, and whether they're likely to impact the Earth. You'll be glad to know that there's nothing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've learned a few things. This is a monitor, and we're safe. There are no asteroids that are coming to attack us like in these science fiction movies. But it is like a science fiction movie. But the reality is, it's nothing like that. This is real, and it's amazing. I don't know if you ever remember, we did a broadcast from Sutherland, from inside of SALT, and that was probably a highlight on my journeys around South Africa and doing the things that we do. And this, honestly, is one of of the most incredible things that's here in South Africa. As we say, possibly the darkest place in the world in Sutherland. So we really do have some incredible places to visit, and the science that's happening there is mind-blowing. All right, what else is mind-blowing is the fact that it's already 8 o'clock here on the program. So I'm going to head back to the